Hi guys, welcome back to another video from Amateur Priority Toys. Today we're going to be looking at a Friday the 13th figure. This is a figure from Mezco. This is the Mega figure with sound, Friday the 13th. So this is a Jason Voorhees figure. This is my second figure of this kind. I have another Chucky. This is the MDS Mega Designer Series, I believe. So here on the side we got a nice picture of Jason. On the back here, Mezco Toys. By collectors, for collectors. Here we have the price I paid, $99 plus tax, so $100 for this guy. We will find out if he is worth $100. I'm gonna say probably not, but we'll see. Another close-up of his mask. And on the back right here, we have the little try me section, because he does make sound. It's pretty quiet. I don't know if you're able to hear that. I don't know if the mic picked it up. But I'll do it again closer to the mic so everybody can hear it. And here he is. Now I noticed it doesn't say Jason anywhere on this box. It just says Friday the 13th. And I'm assuming that has to do with the rights issues and the lawsuit. You got New Line Cinema. So this figure is by Mezco Toys. I will be honest and I will say I do not love Mezco the way other collectors seem to really love Mezco. For me, it has to do with their prices, the way they are always not on time with their pre-orders. You pre-order something from them and you have no idea when you're getting charged. They also do that non-refundable deposit thing where you've committed to buying something, and even though they're taking years and years to put it out, you cannot cancel without losing your money. I think for a company that is notorious for always being late with their pre-orders, I think that's kind of crappy of them, to be honest. I think their product is good for the most part. My biggest issue with them is they are doing that thing where they release a figure, and if you really want it, you better get it now, because they never ever re-release anything. I mean, I know they do occasionally, but if they come out with something that you think you might want, it's like you have to get it now. And to me, that kind of sucks, because, you know, people's finances, everybody's different. Some people have to budget, and having to pre-order something that you want, not knowing when you're going to get it, putting down a non-refundable deposit on it. To me, it just sucks, and I don't like that they do that kind of stuff. So I am not entirely happy with them, and I will tell you, just from looking at this guy in the box, $100 is excessive, I think, for this guy. I mean, I'll open him up in a minute and let you know for sure, but this is probably going to be my last MDS Mega Designer Series figure that I get, unless they come out with something really amazing that I have to have. Forking over $100 for this, to me, is too much. And I'm also very reluctant to even pre-order or get any of their 1/12 scale figures. They look nice. I have a couple. I have one on pre-order, but I have to say that might be it for me for a while. Yeah, that's just how I feel about them. But enough about that. I'll stop ranting. Let's take a look at the Mega figure with sound, Jason Voorhees. Okay, here's Jason out of his box. So let's take a look at him. So he comes with a hand that is going to be open and a gripping hand for his machete. He has on his tan pants and his green shirt. It is clearly designed after part 3, even though it does not say part 3 anywhere on his box. So there you can see Jason's eyes. They look really good, especially this one. You see they've even got like the veins in there. It looks really glossy. I really like the way they did that. Now, I don't know why mine has this. He's got a weird little... At first I thought it was supposed to be a button, but to me it looks like a piece of glue or something that dried in the wrong spot. Or maybe it is supposed to be a button. Oh, yeah, it matches these. I think it is supposed to be a button. It's a little weird, though. I kind of feel like that shouldn't be there. It looks a little weird when you're looking at it, especially since this one doesn't have it. He's got all those buttons. They're not working buttons. He only has the 2 regular buttons. So you can unbutton his shirt, and he's got his little wife beater tank top under there. So I'm down here. I'll close that up in a minute. The detailing on his boots is really nice. You can see all this nice stitching, the different browns to make it look very leathery. Really like that. His pants seem very wrinkled to me. I'm not quite sure why that is. They look like they could be ironed. His boots, I could feel them. They come up to about here. I'm trying to get his pant leg to come up so we could take a look. I rolled up one of his pant legs so you could see the top of the boot. I will say, as you come up here though, you can see it loses that detailing that it has down here. Those nice browns they have over the black, they don't bother doing it up here because they know you won't see it. So, gotta keep his pants down here covering his boot, which is fine. It doesn't really matter. I haven't talked too much about the mask because I don't love the way the mask looks. I think there's too much yellow on there, as you can see. It just looks a little like it's not blended very well. It's too yellow, if you ask me. It should be more of an off-white. If they had more just off-white here over this yellow, I think it would be better. Also, another big disappointment is his mask does not come off. I remember when they put up pictures of him, they did not have any unmasked photos on the website, and I thought that was weird. And I was curious to whether or not the mask would come off. It does not. It is stuck to his face, which is disappointing for me. They'll probably try to defend themselves and say, oh, it's a rights issue because of Jason or whatever. But he's very clearly modeled after part 3 anyways. So I don't really know if that's a real defense that they can use. He's got the little silver bits on the mask. The head looks really well sculpted. You see he's got the nice like kind of deformities, his deformed ear. This looks very leathery, the way they've painted it. So it's very nice overall. I think the mask is just too yellow. I wish that it came off. And also, I feel like this button here just looks kind of weird and distracting. But everything else is pretty nice. Okay, so for articulation, Jason, his head can fully rotate. It can go up and down, and side to side. Whoops, I just pressed his button. No waist articulation. His arms can fully rotate, but they will be hindered a little bit just from the fabric. You could still maneuver it around. They only go up about that far, or to the side that far, I should say. No elbow. Then he's got a rotation right here, and it feels like he's got another one. Yeah, he has another one up here. So rotation up here, right here. Same thing on this side. Legs, they don't go out or in, they're kind of stuck here, but they can kind of move forward and back. And then he's got ankle rotation. So his articulation is limited, but like I've mentioned before, articulation isn't a huge deal for me as long as I can just get him into a decent pose for photography. And I'm sure that I probably could with this guy. So I think his articulation is fine. But for $100, is it fine? I don't know. That's up to you. Here's his accessory. This is a nice blood splattered machete. So the design of the blood looks really, really good. Get some more light on it. I like the way that it splatters. It looks good in the way it's designed, but it is just one flat red. It's not like the kind of glossy red NECA is able to get sometimes with their blood effects. So again, it's acceptable, but is it $100 acceptable? I don't know. And we've got his handle, and these little, I don't know what you would call these little silver parts. They are raised up, so they do have little bumps on them. So let's see. He holds it in his hand quite nicely. But again, you know, what kind of poses are you able to get him? He doesn't have... I mean, that looks okay. On the box, they show him holding it like this. I've never seen Jason hold it like that. That just looks silly. The only kind of like natural pose you can get him in, I think, is just going to be holding it at his side. Behind his head, like he's swinging. You'd have to play with the angles to get that to look right for photography. But that's something I'll try to do so you can see it in the photos at the end of this video. Okay, so let's go over the last thing about this figure, the gimmick. So he is in the try me mode still. I'm going to move him closer to the mic, and the button is on his back. I'll show it off in a second. So I'm just going to get him really close to my mic. Okay, so we got the key, ma sound effect, which is really cool. I don't have any Jason that makes that sound. So I'm gonna undo his shirt so it's easier to get to the button. So you lift this up. Oops, I just pressed it again. Okay, so here's the speaker. There's the button. Down here, kind of by his butt, that's where, get my light on here. That's where you'll put your batteries. I think it's 3 AAAs, 3 LSV batteries. Not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it's AAAs. It could be AA's, I'm not sure, but he takes 3 batteries. So you can switch them to off, and there's on. So I had the Chucky one, and the Chucky one, on his try me mode, he only said, I think, one thing. When you switch him to on, he has different phrases. So let's see if he has any other sounds, like maybe a slashing sound or something. So let's listen. Okay, nope. So I don't even know what the difference is then between the try me and the on. I mean, maybe the try me is like a battery saving mode, but it sounds the same. It's the same volume. It's the same sound effect. I mean, Jason doesn't talk, but they could have included like some slashing or like the sound of somebody screaming, or Pamela saying, talking to Jason, you know, similar phrases that you might have heard in the video game, like kill them, Jason, kill them, or something like that. But no, it's just the plain key, ma every time. So, before we talk about whether I think this figure is worth it and go over the positives and negatives, let's do a quick comparison. Right here I have the Chucky from the same designer series. So they are the same heights, same proportions. I will say I think the Chucky looks 100 times better. I think the Chucky is more worth the $100 price point than Jason. I think the only advantage that Jason has over the Chucky is the detailing in the shoes. Jason's shoes look pretty realistic. And the Chucky shoes, they have the nice paint job and design, but you know, they could have had the Good Guys logo on the white parts. The bottoms are very nice, but it looks like they put more time and effort into Jason's shoes. But other than that, I mean, Jason's clothes are okay, but the Chucky ones just look so nice. I mean, look at that Chucky paint job. I mean, look at the glossy blood on his face as opposed to the blood we get on here, which is just plain red. Yeah, the Chucky just feels like it just had a little more TLC when they were designing it. And I feel like the just overall Chucky fits this kind of designer look that they're going for. I really like the Chucky one. Like I said, though, this Jason one might be the last one I get, unless they do something really important that I want. I think this is the best looking Chucky. This is now become a review for the Chucky one. But some of the other versions of Chucky look a little goofy to me. This one looks the best. This is the Child's Play 2 one. I've seen the other ones in person, and I just look at their price point and the way their faces look, and they don't look as nice as him. I really like how he looks in general. So he's worth $100 to me. It's still pushing it a little bit. $100 is a lot for a figure, but he definitely looks, or he's definitely closer to fitting that price point. Now, Jason, I'm gonna say no, unfortunately. Let's go over the positives and negatives. In the negative category, his mask does not come off. Let's scooch him back a little bit. His mask does not come off. You can see how yellow it looks. To me, it just doesn't look right. It's just off. So the mask is not removable. It's a little too yellow, I think. The blood on the machete, this is nitpicking a little bit, I guess, but could be a little bit more glossy, a little more realistic. And then his sound effects, he could have more. They could have included Pamela. They could have included slashing, the sound of people screaming. They could have done like the little boy Jason drowning. I mean, there's other things they could have done. My guess is it comes down to a rights issue, which is very sad because the Friday the 13th fans, we have just been suffering and suffering because of this rights issue. It's really annoying because, you know, at the end of the day, these two people are fighting over the rights, and in the end, they're just hurting the fans. This figure maybe could have been better without the rights issue. Who knows if that's what it even is? Maybe it's not. Let's go over the positives. I love cloth goods. He's got all the cloth goods. That's one thing I'll give Mezco. Pretty much everything they do has got cloth goods. Oh, and one negative, his pants are just a little too wrinkled for me. I don't know why. But anyways, yeah, he's got cloth goods. His shoes are like surprisingly detailed. Like, it's surprisingly detailed. His eyes look really good. The sculpting on his head looks really nice. Like I mentioned, his ear, the shape of his head. I like the sound effects, even though they could have done more. His articulation, I guess that one's probably more of a negative. He could use with a little bit more articulation, but that's how these designer figures are meant to be. They all have the same articulation. That's not really this figure's fault. So, what do you guys think of him? What do you think of the Mezco Designer Series? What do you think of Mezco in general? For me, they put out a really good product, but unfortunately for me, they are very pricey. They aren't very consistent with their pre-orders and things like that. I don't like that they never re-release anything, and it kind of makes you scramble as a collector to try to come up with the money, because you don't want to be paying, you know, 2 or 3 times the price on the secondhand market, and then you lay down money, and then you're waiting on a figure, and you're waiting and waiting, And to me, that's not right. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this guy, what you think of Mezco. I think this figure is okay. I will say overall I do like it, and I'm happy to have it. I'm a big Friday the 13th fan, a big Jason fan. I just think he's overpriced. If he was not so pricey, I would probably be more happy. But he's not a bad figure by any means. He will look great with all your Jason stuff or with your other Mezco figures. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe as always. Check out my Instagram account, Amateur Priority, for more toy photography. I have pictures of my Chucky already up on there, and I will be getting pictures of Jason up on there very soon, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys, thanks so much.